Let's bring in Wells Fargo analyst Aaron Rakers to discuss whether those results could be a warning sign for earnings from others. Aaron, I'm thinking about AMD. I'm thinking about Intel. I'm thinking about Qualcomm. Qualcomm was down 3% on these headlines. What's the right way to read through?
Yeah, I think one of the things from TSMC was that clearly they're seeing the insertion of demand for AI, but they did allude to the fact that they've seen weakness in other end markets, smartphones, PCs, even I think the question going into results next week is, again, this idea of whether or not AI spend is kind of consuming some of the spend that would be on the traditional side of the server or data center market. And so definitely positive on AI. They talked about expanding their CoWoS capacity by 2x. Looking into next year, that I think is an indicator for the AI side, and particularly NVIDIA and AMD's next generation GPUs. But certainly there's some questions around still this kind of tepid demand we're seeing in other end markets yet for semis.
Now, especially for AMD and Intel, they have been dealing with a situation where there was inventory oversupply, and they were saying in the back half of this year that would sort of balance out, and so the numbers would be better. In a way, does that help them regardless of what TSMC is talking about? Does this refer more to the outlook into 2024?
Yeah, John, I think you're bringing up a great point, right? So the end demand is obviously a little bit removed from what TSMC is talking about here this morning or overnight. We definitely feel like the PC market's bottoming. We're clearing out inventory. We saw PC preliminary shipment numbers up about 8% sequentially in the calendar second quarter. The rate of decline year over year is starting to decelerate. And so we do think that, consistent with what AMD and Intel have said, on the PC side, we're clearing out or finding the bottom. The server market on the data center side still probably a little bit choppy. We think that probably clears itself out maybe coming out of the third quarter of this year. And again, the AI demand that we're seeing vis-a-vis an NVIDIA and certainly AMD with their what they call MI300 GPUs coming in the fourth quarter, it continues to be a key focal point as far as positive demand side.
I feel like inventory destocking is one of the themes of this hour. Aaron, one of the things that got my attention the most from TSMC is the fact that they're going to delay mass production of the new plant in Arizona to 2025, at least reportedly, due to labor shortages. How does it speak to, even as the U.S. looks to stand up a semiconductor supply chain here, how challenging that prospect actually is?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a difficult task, right? I mean, these things are long processes. There's obviously, as they mentioned, labor challenges. It should be noted, though, that TSMC also said that they now expect their revenue to decline by about 10% this year versus previously saying it would decline low to mid-single digits. So they definitely are seeing, some demand, becoming a bit more tepid than maybe what they would have thought of 3 or so months ago. And so, I don't think it's a big change or shift. I do think, though, it speaks to the fact that, these efforts are not, without, a lot of difficult things to be put in place. And so, we still think that'll happen. We've got a colleague of mine that covers the capital equipment guys, and maybe some of those names see some of the demand shift into next year, but I don't think it's going to necessarily go away.